Hey guys, here is the quiz review or the solutions to the quiz that I told a few students I would be providing. Please use this to do the corrections to your quiz and submit them on the retake application if you are planning to retake the quiz. The retake application has to be submitted by Wednesday, or I would actually say Thursday if you want to retake the quiz. This week is the last week to do so. Okay, so let's start with the first one. There's going to be 3 separate videos. The first one will cover questions 1 through 4 of this quiz. The second video will cover questions 5 through 7. And the third video will cover everything else in addition to the bonus. Let's get started with the first one. First question asks, which set of numbers could represent the lengths of the sides of a triangle? So that question really is just asking which of these 4 sets of numbers satisfy the theorem, the triangle inequality theorem, which states in a triangle, the sum of 2 sides has to be greater than the third side. And so if we test the first set, say this is side 1, that's side 2, and that's side 3, which one of, so let's go ahead and test them. Excuse me, I'm just going to adjust this just to give myself some more space and to give you, I'm doing this at home, this video. I usually do them at school. So looking at side 1, side 2, and side 3, if I add up side 1 and side 2, that value is 25. 25 is greater than 20, so it satisfies, right, those 2 sets satisfy the triangle inequality theorem. Then what about 16 and 20? If I add up 16 and 20, that number is greater than 9, right? Because 16 plus 20 is 36, which is greater than 9. And then 9 plus 20 is greater than 16. So this question A, would definitely work as an answer. Okay? So on to the next one. Answer A would be the correct answer. If you got that correct, give yourself, not me, give yourself 1 point. All right, in the diagram below, for the second one, in the diagram below, side AB is parallel to side DEF. AE is, or rather AE and BD, those sides intersect at C. So that tells us we have vertical angles. And measure of angle B is 43, and the measure of angle CEF is 152 degrees. So I went ahead and filled in that this is 28 because I noticed this is a linear pair. Linear pairs are supplementary, so if this is 152, then that's going to be 28 because it should add up to 180. Also, because these sides are parallel, it says side AB is parallel to DEF, that means that this being the transversal, if 43 is to the left of the transversal, then this angle to the right of the transversal would be the alternate interior, and alternate interiors are congruent. Same thing with the 28 degrees. So now the question is asking which statement is true. And also we can figure out if we add these up, we're going to get 71. Yep. 71 degrees. That means that this is 70, not 71, excuse me. If you subtract 71 from 180, you're going to get 109. So that means that's 109. And also this is 109 degrees. Okay. So that means we have all the measures. We have the measures of every single interior angle. And then, of course, we have that one exterior. So let's see how, going through the questions, which one would apply. So is the measure of angle D 28 degrees? The measure of angle D is 43. That's not true. Is the measure of angle A 43 degrees? Measure of angle A is 28. is the measure of angle ACD, 71 degrees. ACD, which is this angle right here. We don't know its measure, but we know that it is a linear pair to this one, so it's supplementary. So that means that this is 71 degrees, and of course that would make this 71 degrees. Okay, so that means this C is correct, and then of course D says the measure of angle BCE is 109. That's not true, right? So the only answer that applies here is that measure of angle ACD is 71 degrees. Okay, that's focusing really quick. Good. Okay, so the third one, you could eliminate some answer choices just based on the fact that you wouldn't be able to determine, based on the information given, if the triangle is a certain type. But let's read the question first. So it says the coordinates of the vertices of triangle RST are as follows. Which type of triangle is triangle RST? So we have our coordinates here, and we need to figure out what type of triangle is it. How would I determine if it's a right triangle? Well, I know that right triangles, two sides intersect to form a 90-degree angle. And a 90-degree angle is what makes a right triangle a right triangle. So I could use the slope formula to figure this out. Whether a triangle is acute or not, there's no formula I could use to determine that. So I'm gonna get rid of that answer choice. Whether a triangle is obtuse or not, I can't use slope, midpoint, distance to figure that out. So I'm gonna get rid of that answer choice. Equiangular and equilateral are the same thing. So that means that if three sides, because if three angles are the same, equiangular means a triangle that has three congruent sides. If a triangle has three congruent angles, equiangular means they have three congruent, let me do that again. Equiangular means they have three congruent angles, which would mean by definition or by the properties of a triangle that they have three congruent sides as well. Okay, so, and we could use the distance formula to figure this out. Okay, we could use the distance formula to determine if all three sides of a triangle are the same. But we're going to start by using the slope formula. And then if we find that it's a right triangle, then we don't have to check if it's an equilateral. If it doesn't check out as a right triangle, then of course we do have to figure that out. Okay, so not a lot of space here, but that's okay. We're going to use the space that we have. And I want to find the slope of, or M is the slope of segment RS. I want to find the slope of segment RT. And I want to find the slope of segment ST. So to find the slope of segment RS, I take 2 minus -3 over 8 minus -2. And I'm going to get 5 over 10. So that means the slope of segment RS is 1/2. Then I'm going to do the same thing with RT. 5 minus -3 over 4 minus -2. And that's going to give me 8 over 6, okay, which would give me a slope of, once it's simplified, 4 over 3. Then I need the slope of ST. So the slope of ST is 5 minus ST, 5 minus 2. over 4 minus 8. Sorry, let me move this up a little bit for you so you can see what I'm doing, but you can do this on your own. It's just finding the slope. All right, 5 over 2 is 3 over negative 4, right? Because 4 minus 8 is a negative. So we're going to have negative 3 over 4. So what I noticed is that the slope of RT and the slope of ST are inverse reciprocals. One is 4 over 3, the other is negative 3 over 4. So that means they're perpendicular, meaning they form a right triangle. They make a right angle, okay, making this a right triangle. Okay, so if you're trying to prove whether an angle is or a triangle is a right triangle, you have to use the slope formula. If you're trying to prove something about the sides, whether it's scalene, isosceles, or equilateral, you have to use the distance formula. Last thing here is the final question of this video, which states one angle, excuse me, I'm just readjusting. I know I keep readjusting throughout this video, but you know my dot cam is not the best. One angle of a triangle measures 30 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to start by drawing a triangle. I always draw sort of the same triangle. One angle of a triangle is 30 degrees, and I'm going to make this one our 30 degree. If the measures of the other two angles are in the ratio of 3 to 7, the measure of the largest angle of the triangle is what? Okay, so I know a triangle is 180 degrees. And I have 30 degrees already, so that means what's remaining is 150 degrees. And that means that if I have a 3 to 7 ratio, it means if I take 3x plus 7x and set it equal to 150, I should be able to get the measure of all of my angles. Okay, and so 3x plus 7x is 10x, which is equal to 150. And we know that if we divide both sides by 10, we're going to get 15. So that means x is equal to 15. 3 times 15 is 45. All right, so we're going to plug back in that 3 times 15 is 45. And 7 times 15, well, let's do that here on the side. 15 times 7 is 105. So that means this is a scalene triangle with the largest side equaling 105 degrees. That's the last one for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.